All right, so gaming and tech. This week we have weird cable bundles that are also including streaming. We're going to talk about that. We'll get to all of that. We also have a new cartoon channel that's going to be much more available than the Cartoon Network, as well as finally getting an announcement from Canon on the tech side of things, specifically on the creation side of things. So let's get into all of that, shall we? Welcome, nerds, to this week's edition of the Gaming and Tech News, generally speaking. Now, I'm no Linus or Spawnwave or Gamers Nexus or insert channel that is dedicated to the tech and gaming news here. That's not what you're getting here. This is just enough to keep you informed, generally speaking. We do this just about every week as part of a larger news show called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel. You can find that linked down in the description or at the end of this video. Now let's talk about some gaming and tech and maybe even some like photo, video kind of news as well. So this week we have no follow-ups, no corrections, no trailers in the gaming and tech section, though I think that might be not 100% accurate, so there's probably going to be a trailer or two next week that we should have talked about this week and I just missed it. I just feel like there was something that in my haste I overlooked, but we do have a bunch of regular ass news, so let's talk about that, shall we? The first two pieces in news have to do with streaming bundles. Like this is the world we live in now because streaming doesn't make people money. But we have that Disney and Max, so Disney and Disney Plus and Max and Hulu have announced that they're going to be bundling together. So Warner Brothers Discovery and the people at Disney have worked out some sort of deal that they're going to be offering you a bundle, actually technically two different bundles, because there is the ad-supported bundle and then there's going to be an ad-free bundle that gives you all three of those services, Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. The exact rollout for this has not yet been made known, nor have the prices for either tier, the ad-supported and the ad-free. They have not mentioned pricing just yet. As they do, we will be following up on this because this is just an interesting situation. It doesn't make them money, so they're going to bundle it with somebody else and give you the option to not have ads. It just seems like maybe we're heading in the direction of just becoming cable again. Like that's kind of where this is going. And speaking of that, our next piece in the same vein is Comcast. Not to be outdone by Disney, Comcast has announced that they're going to be packaging streaming services in with your cable service. Or I believe you can also purchase the streaming bundle standalone without the actual Comcast cable, but it's still through Comcast, so why wouldn't you get the cable as well? But the new streaming services, or the streaming services that they're going to be bundling in with Comcast is going to be Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus. Currently, they already offer you a subscription to Peacock. Like that's the only way I have a subscription, listen to me, a subscription to Peacock. But now they're going to also be throwing in for an additional fee, Netflix and Apple TV Plus. So no details as to launch for that or what the new pricing schematics are going to be, or if there's going to be a tiered option like there is for the Disney Warner Brothers bundle. If there's going to be an ad-supported version versus a ad-free version, that remains to be seen. Though I can tell you from my experience at this point with the Comcast and Peacock bundle, it's gonna be ad-supported and only ad-supported. And I don't know, maybe they will give you another tier just because Apple TV kind of functions in that way. So maybe that's the new element to this. But as it stands right now, Comcast does not give you a Peacock subscription without ads. It just isn't the way it works. So yeah, we'll see. And again, once that gets made known, we will be updating you here on the channel. All right, so let's move right along from Comcast into Microsoft. So we have a little bit of an ironic situation with Microsoft. Microsoft Gaming Studios just closed a few of their smaller publishers, though smaller is only a relative term here because one of the publishing houses that they that they closed was responsible for Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is one of the most well-known, or I guess not well-known, but well-received games on a Microsoft platform of recent history. Like, this game did super well for them, and then they closed the developer, which seems very strange. So the two studios that they closed are Arcane Studios and Tango Gameworks. Tango Gameworks are the ones who gave us Hi-Fi Rush. Arcane Studios are the ones who gave us Redfall, so maybe not a whole lot lost on that side, aside from people's jobs, which obviously sucks. So this happened last week, like the day I filmed, and so I wasn't aware of it until the day after the episode went up. But that happened, and then a day or so later, the head of gaming, what's his name, Matt Booty, the head of Xbox Game Studios, declared that the Microsoft gaming division is going to be seeking to turn development attention towards, quote, smaller games that give us prestige and awards. You mean like Hi-Fi Rush? Like, you just fired the people who created that. So which is it? Are you going to be doing the Steam and awards side, or are you going to be doing the making money side? Like, apparently, and this all seems, and this is a little bit of a conspiracy theory, I feel like, but this all seems to be connected to the rather poor sales of Bethesda's Starfield, because that is kind of the biggest thing that Microsoft has purchased recently is Bethesda. And then the first thing they do specifically for Microsoft is underperform. So they lost them money, which means they had to do something in order to appease the shareholders. They had to do something in order to keep the company profitable. Or to not even the company profitable, to keep that division of the company over profitable. Like, I don't know, it's just a little bit ridiculous. So I don't know where we're going with this one. It just, there is so much wrong right now about the corporate structures of a lot of the companies involved with gaming and the culture, that there needs to be some sort of crazy restructuring in how we do this as in this side of the nerd culture. That I don't have any answers. I just can see what's broken. I'm not the person to fix it, as is rather obvious. And so let's have that conversation. What are the reasonable and feasible options for fixing stuff like this to keep this from happening again? So yeah, from there we have the next piece. It has to do with a new Cartoon Network, not Cartoon Network, but a new network of television that is going to be dedicated to cartoons, and some really interesting things going on here. So if you still have Bunny Ears TV, which a lot of us do, I only have kind of TV on one of my screens. The other screens still use Bunny Ears. So if you're still using a digital amplifier, if you will, in order to pull the signal from the sky, then you probably are aware of a channel on the basic channels situation called MeTV. I forget exactly what the ME stands for. I know they had something at some point, or maybe they just are calling it MeTV now. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched regular television, but it's an umbrella company that does a number of those channels, because on digital you have the sub channels, right? You have channel 13.1 and 13.3 and 13.6, right? Those are all different channels, even though they're on the same wavelengths. So MeTV owns a number of those sub channels as well, but all of their channels have a theme, and they're all collection of, what is the word? They're all a collection of like old syndicated shows. So you got like Murder, She Wrote, and a bunch of those old Western TV shows that my grandpa used to watch, and a lot of stuff like that. There's some stuff like you would potentially see at Nick at Night. Like let's for the millennials and maybe the older Gen Zers out there, Nick at Night is kind of your frame of reference. It's a whole series of channels dedicated to that kind of stuff. So now they're broadening that into one more channel, and it gets pretty interesting here. So we have old Hanna-Barbera and Looney Tunes cartoons are coming to MeTV Tunes is the name of the channel. Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, there's going to be Rocky and Bullwinkle, Woody Woodpecker, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Betty Boop, Speed Racer, the real Ghostbusters, so not the weird, like, non-franchise related The Ghostbusters, but the real Ghostbusters, which I'm pretty sure is the one that is related to the franchise we all know and love. And then you have The Mask, the Police Academy cartoon, which I half forgot even existed until this article. Beetlejuice is finally finding its way back onto a proper broadcast channel. You don't just have to try and find clips on YouTube anymore. You can actually watch whole episodes. And then potentially, this one wasn't set yet, but there was mention of the show Freakazoid, which maybe you'll remember, maybe you won't, because it was at a time when Animaniacs was kind of at its peak. It came at the same time as the peak of Animaniacs, was aired immediately after Animaniacs, and then was followed by a show called Hysteria, which wasn't mentioned in here, but I'm pretty sure is the same production house that created Freakazoid. Just really, Freakazy, chimpanzee, runs around in underwear, Freakazoid. Freakazoid. That one, yeah, that's going to be on channel again. You're going to be able to watch over the broadcast airwaves. It is set to launch June 25th, and will also be offering on streaming services that offer Me TV. So Philo, Friendly, etc., those things that you're basically just streaming broadcast television, you'll be able to get it there. It does not sound like they're going to be doing any of the free streamers, which seems like a missed opportunity to me. So you won't be able to get it on Freevee or Tubi or Pluto. But if you have services, again, like Philo and Friendly, which, if I'm not mistaken, are paid services, which seems also to be kind of counterintuitive, then you'll be able to get it. You can find links down low to a couple of videos, the announcement video. There's also an interview with the CEO talking about this stuff. So it's really interesting. If you are a cartoon freak, then you'll be interested, and hopefully, like, this is a reason to turn my TV back on. Honestly, like, to turn the bunny ears back on. So, all right, and then our final piece in regular ass news this week has to do with Canon cameras. So Canon just confirmed that they are in fact going to be releasing their R1, the EOS R1, words. It's going to be their first flagship, like, this is the be all end all camera that we make in this new mirrorless world that is Canon cameras. It's going to be a new CMOS sensor, which is to be expected because they usually put the newest sensor in their flagship camera, and then it kind of degrades as you go down the line. It's new Digic processor. It's going to be just a bunch of newness. Goose, what are you doing? And then as far as like release goes, no information has been known just yet. They haven't told us what it's going to cost, though you can probably expect somewhere around $8,000, give or take. It's generally what flagships launch at from Canon, just for the body. That does not include any glass. But so we're expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000-ish, and sometime this year. That's all they said as far as the release window. Sometime this year we'll be launching it. But Canon's usually not one to make an announcement and then make you wait 6 months. I would expect probably sometime in the next 3 months or so, we will be seeing at least pre-orders start on the EOS R1. So yeah, that's what we got for this week in Gaming and Tech. Aside from Gaming and Tech suggestion this week, we're gonna say Fallout 76 is our suggestion. There is a limited time window if you are on Steam for you to still get the game for free, but you can still get and play the game for free. So go take advantage of that while we are waiting for the Fallout 4 update to hit. Fallout 76 has been fixed. By and large, it is now a pretty damn good playable game. It's not perfect, and it's definitely not the best Fallout out there, but it's the newest Fallout out there, so it's probably the least played. So I would say give it a shot, especially because it's free. If you are on Xbox Game Pass of any tier, then you get it for free, because I'm on Core, and I get it for free, so if you have any sort of Xbox Game Pass, you also get it for free, regardless, just because it's part of the Core package. So that is your recommendation this week, is Fallout 76. Go give it a shot one last time. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.